Ukraine's Zelenskyy urges West to warn Russia against blowing up key dam.
We assess that Iranian military personnel were on the ground in Crimea and assisted Russia in these operations. Russia has received dozens of these UAVs so far and will likely continue to receive additional shipments in the future.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy called on the West to warn Russia not to blow up a huge dam that would flood a swath of southern Ukraine, as his forces prepare to push Moscow's troops from Kherson in one of the war's most important battles. In a television address, Zelenskyy said Russian forces had planted explosives inside the huge Novokakhovka Dam, which holds back an enormous reservoir that dominates much of southern Ukraine, and were planning to blow it up. Now everyone in the world must act powerfully and quickly to prevent a new Russian terrorist attack. Destroying the dam would mean a large-scale disaster, he said. Russia accused Kyiv earlier this week of rocketing the dam and planning to destroy it, in what Ukrainian officials called a sign that Moscow might blow it up and blame Kyiv. Neither side produced evidence to back up their allegations. The vast Dnipro bisects Ukraine and is several km wide in places. Bursting the dam could send a wall of water flooding settlements below it, towards the city of Kherson, which Ukrainian forces hope to recapture in a major advance. It would also wreck the canal system that irrigates much of southern Ukraine, including Crimea, which Moscow seized in 2014. The alarm has echoes of a World War II disaster at another huge dam further upriver, which Ukrainian historians say was dynamited by Soviet sappers as their troops retreated, causing floods that swept away villages and killed thousands of people. Zelenskyy called on world leaders to make clear that blowing up the dam would be treated exactly the same as the use of weapons of mass destruction, with similar consequences to those threatened if Russia uses nuclear or chemical weapons. One of the most important battles of the 8-month-old war is coming to a head near the dam as Ukrainian forces advance along the river's west bank, aiming to recapture Kherson city and encircle thousands of Russian troops. Ukraine has imposed an information blackout from the Kherson front, but Russia's commander Sergei Shurevkin said this week that the situation in Kherson was already difficult and Russia was not ruling out difficult decisions there.
Ukrainian troops manning a section of the front north of Kherson on Friday said there had been a noticeable reduction in recent weeks in shellfire from Russian positions in a tree line that sweeps across an expanse of fallow fields, some 4 kilometers away. The drop-off in shooting and an absence of Russian armor movement in the sector, they said, indicated the Russians were short of ammunition and equipment. The only sign of fighting was the occasional crump of an exploding shell in the distance. They've been shooting less starting about 3 weeks ago, said Mihailo, 42, who like other soldiers deployed with him withheld his last name. And their drones are less active. It's probably been about a month there's been less shelling, agreed Sasha, 19. This has to finish at some point. Their ammunition can't last forever. The Kremlin on Friday sidestepped a question about whether or not President Vladimir Putin had given an order for Russian forces to withdraw from Kherson. Ukraine's Armed Forces General Staff said up to 2,000 newly mobilized Russians had arrived in the region.
Внимание, расчет, получен приказ. Ввожу приказ.
Contact line.
Приготовиться к совместным действиям. Внимание, пуск.
Есть.